What a guy. I really want success just to see more HS interviews, but I need to shut up because the pistol has commenced. Freiberg already trying to do his best at the B-bomb site, but it's not going too well here. He does have some good backup on his hands, though. Alu's in there. Speaking of people with good one-liners, the Finn himself with some great headshots. HS also arriving onto the scene as well. The Estonian backup. And just like that, the B-rush falters. It fails.
Nice. So, that was interesting. Straight rush B. And I wondered what flashes they would throw, because if you're rushing B and you have somebody throwing from the apartments, a flashbang from the apartments, from like over the roof, as opposed to off the wall through the window, then he needs to be slightly back, so the timing is with the people making their way to the window. If you're throwing a flashbang off the wall to go through the window, then if somebody jumps up onto the truck, they can shoot you while you throw it. Which is probably why they didn't opt for that. So just for those of you at home, look at the rush timings when you do that. But it's not often you see a straight rush B on a pistol round. Doesn't work out for Mousesports, and here they are with Deagles and Kevlar. Not everybody will opt for this, but they certainly will. So CPL's been smoked off. Now with their positions, they could put a smoke in connector, for example, and try and go for a B split. But they're looking to advance their position yet more. The bomb's been left top mid. That could be a rotation towards A or B from one of these mid players later on, once they get into positions that they want, should they be allowed to do that.
And Mixwell playing with fire there, over by connector, getting that info on mids. Really scary when you got the Deagles. You know, the meat shots are very powerful, and already with 3 players tagged, things could get complicated. I like Mousesports, you know, going for this choice of B after showing all the presence in middle. Creating a situation where it's harder for the map to be read for Optic, but now they go for this huge hit onto the B-bomb side. Nice spray down from Freiberg. Gets himself to Alu with the backup as well. Does get spotted out though, and that's going to be a problem. The element surprise no longer with him, but still able to hold things down and also providing delay here. Magisk has been afforded time by Alu to get into position, and Mixwell also up with the rotation. So despite, I think, what was a pretty cool round in sort of trying to deny info in mid and then hitting B, you know, fast, Optic looks very comfortable. Yeah,
I don't think we, on Mirage, I don't think we see enough B split attempts, like simple B splits, because they had so much presence in the middle area. Mousesports, they had CPL smoked off. Now, you can choose to smoke off connector with the smoke that lands in a site, or just throw one from mid that lands up at the top of the stairs. And in that situation, if you manage to clear out connector with that smoke, then you've got a really close quarters engagement with the player on short. And if you've got people in apps as well, then you can pressure both people and stop the CTs from working together. You saw in that situation, Freiberg was taking people down towards the balcony, while Ali was just waiting for him to jump out the window. He had nobody pressuring him, so he's just standing there waiting and nothing to do. So I think there's definitely opportunity for teams to explore that more, which we really don't see.
So Danish teams, I guess, MSL, Glaive, they're the ones that do it the most, I think. But beyond them, I think you're right. It's not really many other teams that go for those options all that much. Do love a good MSL Mirage T side. A lot of teams have stolen much from him, I'm sure. To see if that is the case here in this matchup. Already a pickup from Mixwell with the AWP, and Freiberg. He's actually getting so much action for a B player at the, like so far in this game. Every round there's been action at B for Freiberg and Alu.
The position Oscar was in is a nice one, because if you're crouching next to that door or whatever it is, it does obscure you from a number of positions, but Freiberg getting lots of value from this UMP. Flashbang's working perfectly for him.
Was that a mid-air headshot with the UMP?
Possibly.
I think it was. That's disgusting. I'm disgusted. UMP is a gun I have a lot of respect for sometimes, James, but that was... I don't know what I think about it now. Well, Mousesports, they have 50 seconds, and it is a 2v4. There is definitely work to be done. The major issue, I would imagine, is for them, from their perspective, is the utility. 2 flashbangs. That really makes things very difficult, especially if Optic are playing their passive angles correctly. Because with 4 players, you can set up you can pretty much cover everything. You can see that we've got a player in sandwich, we've got a player on CT, also players sort of in the shop area towards B, but can like sort of watch out for the vents and flank every so often. You can see Mixwell is going between the two positions to quickly check that, and Freiburg with tabs on mid as well. So very safe from Optic. Mousesports to try and find a way around this. They have to connect some shots. Where's the trade? There it is. Rops. Can he do it? A 1 versus 2.
The bomb is on the floor in a nasty spot. He's got a gamble plant for CT. Hope no one's there. Nobody is there. So it is Rops versus 2. I think he's 18 now, 17, I think, when he joined Mousesports. Very young player, but very tactically sound and profound in these situations. But will this be another one of those? Oh, that grenade just has the absolute worst bounce, lands in front of his jaw. And that is a clean sheet remaining for Optic Gaming. Big damage done by Mousesports. The plant will certainly help as their loss bonus goes up, so maybe we'll see another buy from them. And perhaps they could capitalize on the damage they did in this round. 4,000 and above for most of their players, so they may force it up. They will be lacking in utility on the likes of Stiko and Sunny if they go for the AKs.
That grenade just bounced so perfectly. That was... I like how you built it up as well. Like, Rops. So profound in the clutch. There goes an aid. Curse James. Why are you cursing him? Well, double up here for Optic. That is, one of the things that really is very scary to face against. Mixwell, explosive AWP. Ali, very solid with a slower pace. And a very quick take of middle here. Sunny going straight through into CPI. He might catch Magis. Oh, the game around the smoke. And it will be Sunny to win that.
Sunny could take a flash from one of his teammates as well. Let's see. Well, Freiburg is there. I don't think anybody was actually in position who had a flash. Just Stiko top mid with a smoke grenade, but flash would have been nice for him to pick towards the jungle position. There's still position for Mousesports. Or is there 2 players towards 8, a third on the way? The bomb will be exchanged to Stiko. So he has a very deliberate role in what's about to come as Oscar drops him the bomb. So Oscar will be trying to clear out the site with Rops. Oscar and Rops. A very interesting duo to watch. And it'll be down to Stiko to try and get this bomb down.
It's not going to be easy with such a lack of grenades. Actually, for both sides, though, there is an incendiary on Ali, but that's basically it for the CTs. So they might want to get aggressive, and that is a great start for Optic. HS finding himself to pick up onto the bomb, and now that just creates almost an impossible situation. How do they get the bomb down with 4 CTs bearing down upon them? Well, Rops in with a quick frag there. It's Chris J, though, very, very low. He got legged by, I think, Mixwell earlier towards B, and with this kind of health and the time on the clock, I don't see how they can possibly do this. Chris J makes his way and has to go for the no-scope, and it's just no time, and that is the AWP collected there to continue with the double AWP setup here for Optic as they go 5-0. Great start so far.
That smoke grenade was a big problem for Mousesports. For those of you with a keen eye, you would have seen that Chris J was in B apartments the whole time as the 3-man push came in from Mousesports, and I think in an ideal world, they are going for the short plant for Chris J to come through B once the rotation has been made from Optic Gaming, but the smoke was in the middle of the site, but it wasn't quite in the best place possible, so it was very obvious where the bomb was being planted, and the bomb gets taken down, then disaster strikes. Chris J manages to get a pick on that rotation, but not much more than that. 5-0 max loss bonus for Mousesports at this point, and you can see the money now for Optic Gaming. It's not fantastic, and Mousesports will buy again. It's not ideal, but they know there is potential to break Optic Gaming. And they'll try to do that, or at least stop them from running away with the economy. Freiburg leading this Optic Gaming side. It's been an interesting journey so far, and we'll see how it continues. Double sniper rifles for the CTs. Alu and Mixwell now. Mixwell on that short position, but they keep advancing. Stiko spotted and swatted the second time around. Magic's holding an off angle, trying to protect his teammate. So many smokes on shot. Often you'll see 2 smokes there, and it will suggest a fast play from the T's, but it's Optic Gaming with all the frags at the moment.
Freiburg, he's had so much action, he continues to enjoy action at B. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Never happens to me when I play B. Sort of just twiddling my thumbs, doing Sudokus. But not Freiburg, he's on point. And once again, another round where Mousesports being shut down. And this was a brilliant round from Optic, just in the face of or rather in the fact that they only lost a single player. And building that economy is so important. Having the conversion when you do get the breathing room to do it in a round such as that is a perfect scenario for them. Beautiful plays out of Mixwell. And it's kind of what you expect from him to be able to go very aggressive, really good movement, and to really just assert himself on the map. And this is such a great map for CT AWPers. Right. Sonny taking a leg shot from Alu. Alu detecting a lot of presence in middle. The bomb in the Beer Palmas so far for Mousesports. Not the perfect situation for them. I think Optic have been sort of poking them pretty effectively so far. Fairly proactive on the CT side of it. Also not overextending. Freiburg, he's having quite the game. Will he anticipate the next player? Looks like he perhaps will. Now down to Mixwell, close range with the AWP. Brilliant entries though from Mousesports to bust their way into the bomb site. Now there's really big issues here for Optic. A retake of the B site. Never a fun prospect for the CT side.
Three on three. Kits on all the CTs, but they are smoked and choked out at the moment. Rob's dancing around bullets like he's Samuel L. Jackson and Travolta, of course. Beep beep continues, and they still haven't breached the site. I think it's time to save Optic. I don't think this one's going to happen for you. That bomb is way too ticked, and it's time to retreat. Someone's got to call it. First round on the board for Mousesports, and only Alu will survive.
Wow, that's great work. They did so much damage on the exits. I mean, Mousesports won the round, but look at what they have. They have almost nothing. I mean, they'll get a buy on some players, but they're going to be missing grenades. They will not be able to purchase an AWP unless Chris J just purchases that with no armor. And there's not really a good argument for that. And it looks like he will stay on the rifle. And it was noted, how his rifling has improved dramatically on this new Mousesports side. And it's been fun to watch. But right now, it's Optic just taking the reins. Looking so good. And again, Freiburg having a really good game so far. Top fragging for the team, although now equalized by Alu. Getting his frag in the middle. Alu's presence there has been pretty good, just as Mixwell's has as well. Freiburg finally defeated, but now you've got to get past Alu. He's not messing around.
It's nice to see the angles he takes on the re-peaks there. Making sure not to overextend. Finally lands the fatal connection. But that was nice to watch. The decision-making of a sniper from shot 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Just making sure he stops the player from crossing to the site as opposed to re-engaging in the window too many times. 7-1. That is the worst-case scenario reset. This is not the start we expected from Mousesports here. I think Fnatic said, I think JW said that Mousesports are his dark horse pick for this tournament. But maybe Optic are being slept on.
Yeah, I mean, I can absolutely see, why they would say that. Mousesports have so much potential to do big damage. They have pretty much all the pieces, and Chris J's leadership has been evolving and improving, and I think we all expect that big event, or in a very big top tier event from Mousesports for them to be lifting the trophy eventually. But this is, as you say, not the best start. But it's one of those things as well. Mirage, CT side, the decision making isn't hugely complex, and a lot of it does come down to getting a good economy. And if you have great AWP players such as Mixwell and Alu, obviously two of the best in the business, and they're able to sort of assert themselves on the map early on, which they have been, it can be difficult to stop. And I feel as though Mousesports are going to want to slow things down, use the grenades, play more executions of set pieces. Obviously, this round is not going to be all about that, considering the purchase of Mousesports, the economy is not all that ideal for such a round. Alu, not in mid this time, he's moved to the A sites, and he's connecting wonderfully well.
That's a really nice shot. Hard to pick off players around the bricks. I wonder if those bricks are for pyramids. They're not very big bricks, but it might be a very small pyramid. Who knows? Maybe for hamsters. Hamster pyramid. Then.
Hamster pyramid.
Yeah, why not? Hamster pyramids. Hamsters and gerbils often die of heart attacks during storms because they're so scared.
Yeah.
They have heart attacks and die. It's crazy.
Guinea pigs as well, I believe.
It's crazy. Well then, this is a very good start indeed for Optic Gaming. They'll be happy with this. Mousesports had a late arrival yesterday. It's been some difficulty with flights around the Nordics because of the weather in Europe, but I bet they are glad that they are here now.
Just ask Lepus. I really don't envy him.
Oh dear, that is a mouse bug that you just saw from Alu there. We'll get to that. Oh shit, I guess we can talk about it now because Tico is the only man live and now he's joined his teammates. So sometimes with some mice, the mouse wheel will get in a situation where it's almost into the next click, and when you mouse one, it moves the wheel or it sends a wheel command or something, which is what happened to him just there. So as soon as he fires his shot, he jumps at the same time. So that's a mouse hardware issue that many different mice and manufacturers will sometimes have. Can be quite annoying though, but fortunately it didn't cause any issue in the round for Optic Gaming. 9-1, and we see Mousesports on the bye now. Oscar on AWP, finally.
Yeah, finally. The problem is though, is this the approach you want? And of course, in Oscar, if he is on fire, he will basically out 1v1 pretty much anyone. But do they want to take these gambles? Mixwell wins the fight, and now they're down a man already. This is a big problem. Again, you might want to see a greater use of utility to deal with these double orbs, as opposed to trying to outplay them in the 1v1s. Because right now you can see the confidence of Optic still looking for picks in middle, still controlling the centerpiece of this map, which is so important for the T's to gain control of. And there's another pick off, and there's no response from Mousesports. They simply need a superior approach, James.
50 seconds on the clock, and Mixwell will start to reposition. And the CTs may start to focus on defense of the sites themselves and be more passive towards mid. And it seems there may be some discussion in that regard, what a Mousesport's trying to do with the position that Mixwell has. So I think Magisk has connector for Mixwell, which is why he feels confident enough to go back through the crawl space and hold this angle. So now he's got short. Oh, he's gone for the information play. He got curious there with 25 seconds on the clock, maybe considering a rotation via mid to one place or another, but that's given Mousesports an opening. 3 versus 4 at the moment. HS will get traded. Mousesports though still in CT, so there's nowhere for the bombs to get planted on A. However, there's no short presence from Optic, so there is a chance, but it is a gamble, and Rops has no idea what's safe. Sunny holding things down in the meantime, trying to cover as he can. Freiberg coming in towards the jungle position now, but he'll get taken down by Rops, who needs to reload, and it's Alu 1 versus 2. Picking up the M4 to try and avoid getting traded. Sunny with 3 kills so far, and he's going for biggest rotation EU.
Ooh, he has the smoke. Now this is interesting because it does pressure the T's. What if he's sticking the defuse? They have to start poking and prodding that smoke with bullets. That's the opportunity for Ali to win the 1v1. Looking for the trade, but such a smart play from Sunny going for this position. Does he get the spray? Yes, he will. And that is a very, very good round from Mousesports in the end, but it started out so poorly. And the opportunity came for that single missed shot. Mixwell missing the shot in window on a player that was very close to him. I think a shot that you can very often expect him to connect. That was the start. That one mistake. And now Mousesports have another round on the board, but their economy is still ruined. They have to continue success. I don't know, James, if we've seen a consistent approach. Well, we haven't seen a consistent approach from Mousesports.
Yeah, that rotation from Sunny was really important. Gave Mousesports 3 players when they only had 2, and that paid off for them. I want to make a quick note about the bracelets these players are wearing as well. 4-on-4 though, and it seems Mousesports are looking to charge straight into the site. Mousesports, does he have somebody to distract for him? Either way, he's going to get taken down. There is a smoke execute on the site, but they've left CT open. Bomb can get planted. It's being planted in a very open position. Sorry, there is a smoke down on CT after all. So 3-on-3, 2 AWP retake. Freiberg gets off to a good start, taking Chris J down. Grenades flying into the Tetris position. And there goes Oscar, leaving Rops alone. Very fast pick onto Mixwell. Rops going massive, but not big enough. They get reset again. 10-2 for Optic.
Yeah, and they did a lot of damage. I think, being down this many rounds, I think Force Buy is really the only... I mean, it's a really hard situation to play from, but I think maybe they just have to make that hard decision. We'll see if they do decide to go for it, just to start force buying here and try to pressure Optic and just swing the map back into their control immediately. Because there is a situation where you have this idea that where you say, okay, we respect our opponents as much that they're not going to give this kind of a lead away unless we somehow create something a bit sort of risky and special and get a little bit lucky. Sometimes you just have to get fortunate. Counter-Strike is all about taking the right risks at the right times. That's what everything is about in this game. And so that's the decision that Mousesports have on hand. And you can see they will go for... Are they actually going to force it up here? They've got an AK drop there. No one else is buying around it though. So sort of a half-buy situation from them with one AK and some utility. Interesting.
So I saw Rops adjusting the bracelet on his wrist. Because it's an all-inclusive hotel, everybody has a bracelet which gives you various things. But as a gamer, it's important to put it on the arm which is not your mouse arm. Yes. Otherwise...
oh, does he have it on his mouse arm?
No, he doesn't.
Okay,
but
good.
That's the point I'm making is he made the right decision there. And if you go to LAN, you've got to wear a bracelet. Just bear that in mind. Don't want to have a disaster there. So Mousesports gone for the force and... oh, well, they've got an AK anyway. And they're trying to get the bomb down, but the bomb is down on the floor. And this is absolute... This is randomness. This is bedlam. This is anarchy. Who will it favor, though? Mixwell's got one shot to make it. Rops jumping up. The scope will do the job. 3 versus 2. The bomb's down again. And Sunny, not in a good spot, though. He will be traded by Alu. Damage is irrelevant at this point. They need rounds, Mousesports.
Yeah, that looks so promising. That really did, but too much damage from Mixwell with the AWP. The AWPs have been great from the dedicated AWPers, both Mixwell and Alu having a great game, as well as Freiburg. You know, we saw that initial in a good series of defenses, which, you know, because of Freiburg and being the anchor of the B-bomb site, when there's so much pressure there early into the rounds or this match, Freiburg was really the guy that helped Optic have this great economy to then set up his AWPers to just have AWPs all the time. And now we get a bit of mid-aggression as the push perhaps wants to come through pit onto A. And with the info here from Magisk, surely Optic will be in a good position as they start to rotate into mid.
Streaming up the ramp are the Mousesports players. Look at the coordination from Optic. The flashbang comes in, HS peaks and delivers double HS. 4 on 3. Mousesports have an opportunity to plant the bomb. First must be collected. No smoke towards CT, but Ali will be taken down. So default plant has come in. Magic's boy slowly creeping towards the palace. There are 4 positions to cover with 3 T players, so we'll see how this works out for them. No more grenades for the T side. Got a bunch of smokes here for Mousesports. Magic's boy has found a hole in the defense. That's allowed 2 of the 3 kills, and Sunny will flank him. No one's going to look in palace, surely, but how does Sunny, who does he prioritize there? He sees 1 player, sees 2, but he can't get anywhere close to the diffuser.
That was really cool decision making from Magisk. If you put yourself in Magic's shoes, Magisk is the flanker. He's got 2 decisions. Does he go pit or does he go palace? And obviously, if you decide to go pit, that is where you are most likely going to have the 1v1 very early on. However, if you go palace, even if there is a player in palace, that player may have his attention focused towards the site, and it's easier for the pit player to actually check back. So Magisk there, so I think he made the best decision going palace. I really like that, and we can see that the instant 2K just secured it on the retake for his team, and that's 12-2. That is an incredible scoreline for Optic on the CT side.
I was on fire once. My friend shot me with a Roman candle. So Mousesports streaming into the B bomb site, and now finally they've got a good opening to get a desperate last round in the first half, but easier said than done, although they do have advantages. 5 on 3. They've got great positions, and the Molotovs continue to fly. Lots for Optic to do here. They've got nothing to lose since it's the last round, other than the round itself. There's the first frag, but it's cost them a player, and it doesn't look likely. So it may be 3 rounds on the board. It will be for Mousesports. Not a great T half whatsoever. It's all about the pistol.
Yeah, and no one was able to really pop off, and I think a lot of it was just Mousesports and their inability to sort of finish onto, you know, a post-plant situation. And a lot of that was because they couldn't really survive in numbers in the early to mid-round because the AWPs were just everywhere. Ali was always changing position, Mixwell was changing position a lot, and they were connecting their shots as well. Freiburg was playing well towards B. We saw some great holes towards A from HS. Generally, the defense was very strong, and I feel like Mousesports were putting emphasis on trying to win a lot of these the aim battles as opposed to really forcing back Optic through very good use of a utility to then get the position to play more of a bomb plant scenario. And maybe that was the issue. We'll have to sort of see. I'm sure the analysts will have more to say on that. But a 3 rounds situation on the CT side, it's very recoverable on this map. But they have to obviously get the good start. And I mean, it comes down to those headshots, and the headshots can be a cruel mistress, James, on the pistol round.
Well then, Mousesports, you have a lot to do in this round, let alone this half. Baby steps. My baby steps were giant strides because I was born this size. So it seems that both teams might be making a play towards B, although it seems like a contact play, but Mousesports are the ones who are rushing B apartment. It's going to be close range for these Glocks, and it will favor the T's. They continue. Sunny's got a flashbang. That's going to buy some time for his team, but he spent so many bullets killing just the one player. Immediately traded. 2 versus 4.
Oh, God. You hate to see it. If you're Mousesports or a Mousesports fan, pretty much the worst situation possible for Mousesports. And there it is. I mean, it looked convincing from Optic. And again, those pistols, the pistol rounds can be in very cruel mistress. It's hard to know which way it's going to go. You can be in the perfect positions, but sometimes the headshots just do not follow, for you. And those Glocks are able to get close and close the distance. Your life is certainly in danger. And obviously the force buy, I mean, we're going to see continual force buys here from Mousesports, pretty much regardless of what happens. They're not in a position where they can do anything but that. So the Deagles will have to reign true.
I made a video of a Cloud9 CT pistol on the B-bomb site, which I highly recommend looking at. It's quite fun and good to use in pugs on Faceit, should you do that. Or maybe your national pro league, be it Swedish, Finnish, English. We have many pro league systems now on Faceit. Look out for one in your region. So 4 Deagles alive, and the bomb is in an exposed position, but not as exposed as the faces of Mousesports, apparently, leaving Sunny alone. His rotation may be heard by the short plant, and Mixwell will position himself accordingly. Got back up from a teammate, not required, however. 14-3.
Yep, and Mousesports, again, I mean, I think they just have to force buy. I mean, you're in a position where you cannot afford to save. You just need rounds. So we'll see more force buys. Deagles until death is essentially the Mousesports motto in this position, I suppose. 4 Deagles. You need to hit those one shots. And Optic, in the previous round, they ran a nice anti-force buy. So we're going to see a mix-up from that. They're going to go for a split. This is the Danish round. We see this very often from MSL at this anti-force buy on Mirage. You send your in-game leader, which is Freiburg, up short, and the rest of the team goes through B-apps, and you go for a very fast hit with good nades. And Stiko, he can't get anything done.
Sunny taking some pot shots. Freiburg makes a play. Surely would have fallen to the flames, but the bullet will be enough. Heat either way.
Oh, wow.
And now Alu is alone with the AK-47. He has some high ground, but he may have been spotted. If he has, it's going to be a hard task for him. There's one down. Apparently he wasn't. Moving into the low ground now. Sunny's pre-tagged as well, but Alu will be fragged. A glimmer of hope for Mousesports. A prayer. A candle in the wind.
What? So it's going to go out then?
It might not go out.
If you put it in the wind, it's probably going to go out, James.
Yeah, that's the point. It probably will, but it's not a guarantee. It has a fighting chance, Dan. That's the whole point of the metaphor.
All right, okay. Just I'm not going to put any candles in the wind. Just
There's
saying.
a whole song about candle in the wind. You know, it's a thing.
Really?
It's a thing.
Okay.
Elton
well.
John.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, okay.
And back in the ring.
Anyway, well, it's. I mean, Mouse will pick up one round, but it's just like, having this deficit to face up against, Optic can take crazy risks because they only need 2 rounds, and it's just one of those risks pays off, and the game can be over. And Mixwell, confident as ever. That's Chris J very dead. The scout out of play. One thing that Chris Day was very famous for. Perhaps when Dust 2 eventually comes back into pools, we'll see him back on it once again. But Optic looking to finish things off in aggressive fashion as they storm that B bomb site. Stico forced out of position. Great attention to detail with the Molotovs.
3 on 4. Oscar trying to thin the numbers out, but that is 3 kills in 1 second, and the round is over.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about this match for me is that it shows that Optic, if they get that good start, they can really play out a very good CT side. And we know that is always going to be the case with them because they've got Alu, they've got Mixwell. This is a very good basis once you have the economy rolling to really mess with teams because of just the AWPing power. And the rifle support is excellent as well behind that. But the T side is really where my question would have been for Optic. Yet I don't think potentially we may not see much of a T side unless Mousesports can somehow fight back with Deagles and the Scouts. And that's not the start that they wanted.
Deags.
Ops. Can he get something? He is pinned into the Tetris position. Players all around, but they are blind! And that is a big result. Picks up the AWP, going for the follow-up there.
Ooh!
Caught! That was close.
I was excited, Dan. For a moment, I was excited. Oscar, he knows the second player is there. Surely he knows the second player is there. However, he's got to reposition because Freiburg is coming up short, and he repositions just in time. He's where he had the spatial awareness, but didn't have the round. 16-4. Optic slapped Mousesports around in their first.